you guys want this.
Yeah, thank you.
Bienvenue au col de son. S'il vous plaît, veuillez éteindre le son de vos téléphones électroniques. Désirez-vous que j'effectue la lecture des consignes en anglais ou en français?
Anglais, s'il vous plaît.
Each team has 20 minutes to present its case to the judges. I will show a board for the 10, 5, last 2 minutes, and last 30 seconds of the presentation. During the last 10 seconds of the speech, I will indicate by means of my 2 hands the number of remaining seconds. A team not having ended its presentation after 20 minutes will be stopped to move on to the period of questions. The period of questions of a maximum duration of 5 minutes is assigned to the jury at the end of the presentation. I would like to remind to the jury that it's mandatory to ask at least one question during this period. I will invite the judges to introduce themselves and then the team can begin.
Should I start? Yeah. Okay. My name is Vicky. I'm a full-time student here at Laval University, MBA Marketing.
Hi, my name is Maud. I work at La Ruche Québec, which is a crowdfunding platform.
Michel Turner from Metro, Senior Director of Organizational Development and Talent Management.
Thanks.
Jean-Guy Tremblay, I'm the Vice President, Director General of Super C.
Thank you.
André Fléchette, Human Resources at Super C and Metro.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you all.
So, hi, my name is Tahira, and these are my colleagues Anthony and Laura, and we are Team F. Before we get started, we would like to show you why we are the ideal team for this mandate. So, who are we?
We are supermarket employees.
We are tax specialists.
We are marketing and retention experts.
And we are here to provide you with a realistic, attainable, all-encompassing strategy that will be implemented within 12 months. So let's take a look at our agenda. First, we'll go over a brief introduction, and then we'll go over an analysis that we have completed of your current recognition activities. We have then completed an internal and external analysis, which has led us to our 4-pronged recommendation. From there, we will go into the impact of our recommendation, where we will discuss our timeline, budget, and return on investment. And then we will conclude with our measures of success and our closing remarks. So first, our introduction. Our mandate is to analyze Super C's current recognition activities and propose a new strategy that will increase staff engagement while also increasing employee retention. Our scope is that we had to ensure that it could be implemented within 12 months. We have to keep in mind that we have 90 stores with 5,900 employees. We also have an annual budget of $20,000, which comes to $3.39 per employee, which means we have to be creative, we have to be cost efficient, and we have to come up with a realistic recommendation. The key issues that we looked at in order to come up with the best recommendation for you is high turnover, which is common among the industry. You guys have 3 distinct types of employees, which means we have to come up with 3 different types of recommendations to meet all the types of employees that you have. You also have low employee engagement, lack of transparency and collaboration, as well as lack of training and development. And right now, Super C, unfortunately, is not seen as an employer of choice. The key takeaway here is that Super C has an outdated recognition plan that needs to be improved in order to meet their current employees' needs and wants. So what our overarching recommendation is that Super C cares. Super C cares about preparing their employees internally to ensure that they will be prepared for the new recognition activities. You also care about your employees' personal development. Super C cares also about their employees' professional development as well as their employees' community development. What this will lead to is an increase in employee retention, employee satisfaction, which leads to customer satisfaction, as well as an increase in employee engagement and an overall change in Super C's perception to a long-time employer instead of just a part-time job. So now I'll pass it on to Laura for our analysis.
Thank you, Tahira. So Super C is a great store. Every time I go in, I'm served by a great worker, and I know I could always get the best price for what I get. But we noticed that your current recognition activities need some improvement, and we're here to help you with that because we really want your employees to know that you care about them. So right now, we could start off with your corporate letter that you do, and we believe that you could create a more personalized version of this letter instead of just having the generic one from the VP of someone they don't really know. Also, the gifts that we have, we think that you could provide innovative gifts instead of the Super C gift cards or an addition. because we believe that if you have a more innovative gift, you could really motivate these employees. So also for the dinners and events, you could create more fun ways to bond with the group, because we believe that if you bond more, you become more of a team. Also, your 5C competition is a great initiative because you really show the values of your store, as well as you recognize your employees for years of service, but that led us to ask the question, what other tactics can you do to recognize your employees and really use these as motivating factors within the workplace? So just a brief overview of Super C. We believe that you should leverage the patriotism of the Quebec people, since you are the only grocery chain in Quebec who is solely Quebec owned. Also, your slogan and your values that you have really show that you have a strong focus on your economical strategy, and it led us to know that you have to have a cost-efficient and effective strategy. So now looking at the competition, we see the key players in the industry. We have Loblaws, IG, Metro, and also Maxi, which is owned by Loblaws as well. What they all have in common is that they have clear and clean career website pages, they have competitive benefits, and they create an enjoyable workplace. What we noticed that you lacked on is a clear and clean careers website page, and it is extremely important, especially for the Generation Ys, to have a nice careers page, because it does make you look like a more attractive company. And when you're looking for a job, they are going on the internet. They're not really going in the stores anymore. So this is your current page right now. And then we looked at your parent company, Metro. So we know that you really do have the resources to make an attractive site like this. It's aesthetically pleasing, as well as it shows the benefits, and has a page called Why You Want to Work at Metro. And we really want to make why you want to work at Super C. Also, IGA does another initiative where they clearly define the job roles. So explaining every job, such as a front cashier, as well as the deli counter, just explaining why it's important to the company, and showing future employees that they will excel at this job. Also, Loblaws clearly defines advancement roles, which we believe is extremely important when it comes to transparency. They show that when you enter the company, there's many growth opportunities, and we want Super C to show that you could grow within the company and really advance. So next are the competitive benefits. Loblaws has a great initiative as well, and they put it on their website page. They have many different benefits that we believe that you could replicate as well. So they have one called Get Your Share, meaning that the employees have a share within the company, so they really want the company to do well as a whole because they benefit from it as well. Also, the Refer a Friend program seems very interesting to us, because if an employee brings a friend onto the Super C and they perform well, they benefit from it as well. So Super C gains a great employee, and the employees get to be benefited from that initiative. So next is to create an enjoyable working environment, and we decided to do a case study on Whole Foods, which is an American grocery chain, and it's known to have some of the nation's happiest workers. So we wondered why this was the case. They're perceived as an innovative grocery chain, which is extremely important also to the Generation Ys. They have transparency amongst all employees, so everyone knows what's going on at all times. They have consistent employee recognition. They also reward employees for having a healthy lifestyle, as well as they provide perks and gifts as motivational tools for their employees. Now, let's look at all your different types of employees. You have your managers, full-times, and part-times. And what we realized is extremely important is that they're all motivated in different ways. So we decided to get some insights on these. So the managers, they work because they want to be a leader. They really want to share their knowledge because they do have a lot of experience. And they're working because they really enjoy their day-to-day job. They love coming into Super C, and they really want to work. Your managers are career committed, so they love the idea of knowing that they can advance and climb the corporate ladder, but they could be tempted by outside opportunities, meaning that if they find a better opportunity at another grocery chain, they will take it. So we really want to make them feel loyal to Super C, and we believe that we can do that within our recommendation. Next is the part-time employees, which are the Generation Ys, and they're really motivated by to be innovative, teamwork, immediacy, and results. And they're working because they have to, so they want to pay for school, they want to pay for travel, as well as their everyday expenses. But we want to get all these employees onto one page, and we really want them to want to work for Super C. So based on our insights, we realized that you have to have a strategy that covers all these employees, but we really want to put an emphasis on Generation Y, so they do have the most likely chance at turnover. So we asked ourselves, is all the secondary research really enough? And our answer was no. So what does this really mean? We decided to go to your grocery store and ask the employees firsthand on why they want to work, why they work at Super C, and about your recognition program as well. So we decided to go to 3 stores within the Montreal area, and 20% were managers that we surveyed, 40% full-time, and 40% part-time employees. We found that the average length of employment was 6 years at Super C, and some even have experience in the industry for even 10 years. So what we found during our visit at Super C is that they are working at Super C because you offer the best salary within the industry, your pension plan, the fact that you are Quebec-based, so really that Quebec spirit makes your employees loyal to you, as well as close relationships with their colleagues. When we asked about their recognition activities within the store, they really said that there was no structure and it really depended on the managers whether they were recognized for their hard work. But we believe that if there is consistent recognition and structure, they will be more motivated and more efficient since this job is very demanding. And we also noticed that only 30% of employees knew about Super C's recognition program, so we really want to up that number so that everyone feels cared about. So we really kept in mind during our strategy that we're going to be recommending to you all the key retention factors that you gave to us within the case. So now I'll pass along to Anthony, who will discuss the recommendation.
Thank you, Laura. $20,000 budget, 90 stores, 5,900 employees, 12 months to implement, 1 Super C. And that 1 Super C cares. When we found out that this case was about Super C, we were ecstatic. Because I myself have personally worked in the supermarket industry for over 7 years. I worked for 2 different grocery stores in every department on the store level, the office level, and the warehouse level. I've worked with dozens, if not hundreds of employees, and really have experienced firsthand the other side of what Super C is facing. So believe me when we say that the recommendation we are about to provide for you is a realistic one, an attainable one you can implement within 12 months, and one that is budget efficient. So that recommendation is Super C cares. Everyone knows that the supermarket industry is labor intensive, it's physically exhausting, and it's very demanding. Whether you're working in the meat, or you're working in the fruits, or you're stocking up the milk, employees want to feel appreciated, they want to feel empowered, and they want to feel like they're cared about. So in French, we summarize that as Super C valorise. So what is Super C cares? Well, that's our broad recognition strategy that we've divided into 4 phases. From 0 to 2 months, we're really going to focus on internally preparing employees for this upcoming change. From 2 to 4 months, we're going to show them that we really care about their personal development through promotions for education, health, and wellness. From 4 to 6 months, we're really going to focus on professional development. So how could they take their career at Super C to the next level? And from 6+ months, we're going to bring this all together and talk about the community and how they can benefit. So let's jump right into it and talk to you about the internal preparation. So what we really want to focus in this phase is making sure everyone's prepared for this new initiative, this new recognition activity that's about to take place. So we really want to make sure we're getting constant and consistent feedback from all employees. So we want to open an online communication box where employees could submit anonymous comments, surveys, etc. Because sometimes employees feel intimidated to talk about their coworker or their manager to another boss for risk of shyness or intimidation. The second thing, and the best part about that, is like Super C would very much enjoy, it costs $0 to implement. The second thing we want to include is internal marketing and communication. So just making sure that all key personnel are on board and they really understand what's going on and how it's going to be executed. Because if the employees understand, then there's way higher chances of adoption. And once again, how much does this cost? $0. The third phase of internally preparing is really where we're going to focus on improving your corporate image. So right now we know Generation Y, the millennials, are the new types of employees, and we know right now that they're online almost all the time. And when you go onto the Super C website or the Super C Facebook page or other social media handles, etc., they're not as apparent as the other supermarket chains in Montreal, in Quebec, or in Canada. So we really want to spend $2,000 for this phase and focus on improving your corporate image, so updating your website and updating your online presence. So now that we've internally prepared, let's jump into the next phase from 2 to 4 months. We're really going to care about employees' personal development. So this phase we've divided into 2 sections, the first of which is education, and the second of which will be health and wellness. For education, we have 2 contests we would like to launch. One is a scholarship contest. As a Generation Y myself, and all of us together, and as employees of supermarkets, we love to learn and we love to gain outside experiences, even outside the store level. And if Super C would provide us with a scholarship, where we would write an essay about employee retention or recognition, and the top one would get $1,000, followed by $600 and $400 respectively as prizes, we believe that this would motivate everyone to take part in it, and it's really easy to implement because you just need to launch a topic and they just need to submit an essay via email. The second thing is a cost-cutting initiative. So we've seen this at grocery stores in the States where it's been very successful, where employees think of ways to improve efficiencies to cut costs, and if the idea that they have gets implemented, they get to keep 10% of the savings for the first year. So how much does this cost for Super C? $0, and if anything, they're going to save 90% of the first year and future years on the new implementation idea. And for the employee's perspective, it makes them think every single day, how can I improve efficiencies? How can I make things more cost efficient? And intrinsically, it's motivating them to be a better employee and stay loyal to Super C. And it's tax deductible. And look how happy people are when they receive scholarships. So we just wanted to show that photo. And you sort of are in that photo as well. The second thing we want to focus on was partnering with online universities. So examples of which are Khan Academy and lynda.com, where employees for free could get extra outside complementary learning. So here's an example of what Khan Academy looks like. It's once again $0, what Khan Academy looks like, 100% free, provides a bunch of courses, and lynda.com, where you could search anything you want online, and with regards to business skills, we have communication, leadership, management, etc. And for example, they also have PowerPoint, and this website, lynda.com, really helped us improve our PowerPoint skills, really helped us improve our communication skills, and I think it's really going to help your employees improve a lot of other skills that they wouldn't necessarily get in the store. Now in terms of health and wellness, and what's important about this is that not only will Super C be implementing something that's aligned with the Generation Y employees, but they're going to promote their commitment to education across Quebec. Now with regards to health and wellness, what we want to focus for health and nutrition is getting everyone on board for physical activity and health. So we recommend hiring a nutritionist, whether it's a rotational nutritionist who's going to go one store at a time, or hold online webinars, and really provide employees with the needs for their personal health. And like Whole Foods has implemented, Whole Foods, for example, if you don't smoke cigarettes, you get rewarded points. If you have a health goal and you reach it, you get extra points, which is redeemable for prizes. We want to implement something like that with these nutritionists. You can set goals, and if you achieve them, not only are you promoting a healthier lifestyle and workplace, you're going to gain prizes. And that's going to cost $3,000, all of which is tax deductible. And then in terms of physical activity, we recommend partnering with a Quebec-based gym. Or if you cannot partner with a Quebec-based gym, partner with an online gym, which we're about to show you what it's like. So here's an example of one online gym, and I'll show you the next slide as well. Basically what it is on the side, there's a tab bar where it shows you what exercise you're supposed to be doing, what's the duration, etc. And it's very inexpensive, and it's very easy to implement. All you have to do is buy an account for your employees, or give them the link or a discount code. So now that we're done personal development, let's focus on professional development. How can they take their career to the next level? So we've divided this section into 4 phases. First, mentorship program. So similar to McKinsey & Company, they have a buddy system where when you get entered into the supermarket, for let's say this example, you get assigned to a buddy who's in charge of taking care of you for the first 3 months. So from a new employee perspective, I'm coming into this supermarket, I have a buddy, so if I have go-to questions or I want to be integrated with the other employees, this buddy's going to take care of me. And then from the buddy's perspective, they feel empowered and they feel like they're making a difference in a person's life, and they're being measured by their manager through KPIs, so they're going to do all their best to really make sure this person feels integrated. And how much does that cost? $0. Second thing we'd like to include is a rotational leadership program, similar to Costco, Labatt, PepsiCo, where new hires work in every single department and shadow leaders to really understand Super C as a whole. Thirdly, the Refer a Friend program, as mentioned in Laura's analysis, we really believe is going to attract future talent and incentivize people to want to stay there and want to bring their best people on board, since it will be a reflection of them. And lastly, transparency and friendly competition. We really want to focus on clear development policies and making sure all numbers, whether it's statistics about sales, about profit margins, or statistics about the number of items scanned per minute, are available to all employees to really make sure they improve week after week. And once again, all these costs are $0 to them. Lastly, community development. We recommend doing charity events, which promotes philanthropy and is good for Super C as a corporation. And here are some examples. $2,000 tax deductible. And lastly, in terms of event planning, so right now we saw that Xerox, for example, let's say they have a Christmas party, they take 5 people, 10 people from different departments together and work together to plan the party. So in the same way, for your Super C Christmas party, what if you took one deli manager, one bakery manager, one cashier? You brought them all together to really plan that party. Not only will it improve employee collaboration and volunteer basis, it'll improve commitment and it'll make it a funner environment. In terms of updating the current events, we've noticed that you're allowed to have up to 6 events that are tax deductible, so it's something to consider. As well as letters and gifts should be more personal. And lastly, seminar sessions and trade shows, especially those related with the food industry, are things to consider to send future employees to. And it costs $2,000. Now what if, I know we've said a lot of things in regards to personal, professional, and community development, but what if all these things could have been brought together in one common platform? Or what if we don't have to do that? Introducing Caroline, a Quebec-based retention software. So just briefly, we could go into more detail in the Q&A, but they have, next slide please, they have performance tools that could track leaderboards, contests. They have social tools, so profiles, suggestion boxes, notifications, etc. And they have motivational tools, quizzes, online boutique where you could redeem points, etc. And all of this is integratable with Super C. So we've called them and we asked them, would you be interested and capable of integrating with a grocery store and adjusting to fit their needs and making sure everything we want to include would be capable to fit on this platform in addition to their base. And their answer was yes, they could definitely do that. They have customizable solutions. So these are 4 phases of our implementation, and these are the most realistic, attainable things Super C could implement within 12 months to make a difference. Now I'm going to pass on the floor to Tahir.
So to summarize what Anthony has gone over, here is a breakdown of our budget. So as you can see, the total budget will total to $18,000 with about a $2,000 cushion that you can apply to other initiatives. The return on investment that you will receive from our recommendation will be decreased employee turnover. You will have an increased number of educated employees. You will also have an increased number of satisfied employees, which will lead to satisfied customers. You will have a positive change in Super C's perception, more traffic on your web page, which will lead to more applications as well in the future, and you will also reduce your training costs. Now, in order to ensure that our recommendations will be meeting the benefits that we have outlined for you today, we have some key performance indicators that can measure the success of our recommendations. So we have, so in conclusion, we went over the mandate to analyze your current recognition activities. We've proposed some new activities that will be great for Super C, your current employees, as well as your future employees. And all of the key issues that we have outlined earlier in the presentation have been addressed. So our overreaching recommendation is Super C Cares. Super C cares for about internally preparing their employees. They care about their employees' personal development, their professional development, as well as their community. And overall, okay, so what do we want you to remember from this presentation is that we have experience in the grocery business and all the different departments, and given the budget and timeline, we will definitely have the one that we have. So, okay, sorry. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Disposer de 5 minutes.
Thank you, all of you, for the presentation. I'd like to know if you have the chance, it was not the mandate, but to maybe imagine who would be manage I'll say all those propositions that we just received. Meaning all the program.
Implementation.
We're gonna need people to manage this. Do you imagine how we can think about to organize to get somebody to manage everything on all those projects that you propose?
Well, definitely on a higher level, it will be the human resources department that will take care of most of this, since it is, after all, recognition activities and retention. But on a store-to-store level, we believe that employees themselves, managers themselves, could take part in this and be empowered in this. Because what we've realized is an employee who works in a supermarket, let's say you work in a deli department, and you just slice deli every week, you don't feel empowered, you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel motivated. But the second you're provided with concrete, let's say numbers, data, things improve, the sales per week, the profit margins, when someone teaches you about cross-selling, you feel more empowered and you're intrinsically motivated to do better. So the same way, if we approach these employees and these managers and we show them how Super C could concretely make a difference, concretely become an employer of choice, concretely be the leader in Quebec for supermarket recognition and retention activities, we believe that the employees themselves, the managers themselves, will be bought into this and they'll want to do it. So on a higher level, the HR department, on a lower level, we believe the managers and employees will be willing to take part in all the things we mentioned.
I'd like to know, you were talking about the platform where you can have the bi-weekly surveys and interviews and anonymous comments online, and you said that would be free. I'm wondering how is that possible?
Yeah, so in our budget we allocate $2,000 for that. I apologize for not saying that properly. Basically, CareLab, what they offer, and we've contacted them, is a free trial. So what we recommend is trying out free, whether it's 1 store, 2 stores, 5 stores, really testing it out, and then from there work from the free trial and scale it out. So we apologize, it's not free eventually, as you scale out to 9 stores, but to start out and to make sure that it is the right thing for you before investing capital in infrastructure, in developing a platform, you can test it out with them absolutely free.
And you think that $2,000 for all this is enough?
Our whole budget in total is $18,000, but for that one portion, yes, because a lot of things we've mentioned, after this presentation or after today, if you have time, go to carelab.com, you'll see a lot of their tools are already integrated, things that I think Super C will benefit tremendously from.
At the beginning of your presentation, you talk about a survey. and you said that it will be for free. I'm a little bit surprised to see that you didn't budget costs for build the survey, analysis of the survey. The other thing, because it will be two part in my question, mentorship program. Why you didn't plan to have some costs in terms of loss of efficiency? Because when you mentor somebody, probably you're not in the production itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So in regards to our budget, that was our $2,000 cushion.
And at the beginning?
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, and we did think about all those things, but that's why we put a $2,000 cushion.
Oh, okay.
When we were creating the presentation, we weren't sure to put it at the end or at the beginning, so we just put it at the end.
Okay.
I do have a question. Do we have someone? Okay. I really like the fact that you did a great analysis about the competition and the best practices out of the competitors. I'm just not sure about Whole Foods. I mean, it's quite different from Super C and the kind of employee as well. Like, we don't have really high educated employees, or this is kind of different, I think, from Whole Foods. What's your point of view on that?
What we wanted to see is why some grocery stores seem to be innovative and seem to be attractive to other employees. So we looked at Whole Foods and we really thought that those were really the best practices that can be replicated and maybe a big change to Super C. But we really want Super C to really up their image and really become that innovative grocery chain, because right now in Canada, and especially Quebec, there's no grocery store that's really that innovative. So Super C could really get a foothold on that and become the innovative grocery chain that the Generation Y workers would want to work at and stay at and build their career in the future.
Okay, and do you think about how we will communicate all this new program to the employee? Do you have something about that?
Yeah, so I guess if there's two things we'd like to say is top to bottom, in the sense that you have to lead by example. So on a store level, the managers have to really buy into this, then the assistant managers, then the department managers, then the employees, because people will really look up to their managers, etc., and really buy into what they're buying. Besides that, all the communication platforms you currently have, so the bulletin boards, the newsletters, etc. And we also recommend the Teach the Teacher method, which is a method known...
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a small medal for you. Thank you.